Hey Edge Traders, this is Adam again, and in this video we're going to be talking about supply and demand zones for your Forex trading. We're going to cover what are supply and demand zones, as well as how to incorporate them into your trading, and at the end I'm going to show you a very powerful yet simple Forex trading strategy that incorporates supply and demand zones. Hey everyone, it's Adam here, and in this quick video, we're going to be talking about what are supply and demand zones, how exactly do they work, do they actually help, do they actually have an edge in the market, and a quick, simple strategy that can drastically improve your Forex trading results using supply and demand zones. If you're new here, we make videos like this that are helpful all the time, so consider liking and subscribing. So let's go ahead and let's dive into this right now. So I'm just going to pull up this chart here, and I'm going to show you examples of what supply and demand zones actually are. You can see these red and blue supply and demand zones, okay? And essentially, they're kind of similar to support and resistance in a sense that there's zones, major zones that price likes to bounce off of. As you can see, when it touches these zones, price kind of sharply bounces off of them. Now, you could totally subjectively go ahead and draw in these supply and demand zones. I don't like doing that because it's kind of a subjective process at that point. I like to use an indicator, or supply and demand, or a key zone indicator like I have drawn here on the screen. You could find them wherever, or I'll show you how to use this. We call it the bank secret indicator. It's really helpful for a couple of reasons, but I'll link description below with the 7-day free trial so you can try it out if you want to. But besides the point, so supply and demand zones are these key zones that price likes to bounce off of, right? As you can see here and here, this is considered demand, where price has gotten to a point where there's demand for it, and price has gotten too high at this point where there's a supply of it, so price falls. And that's kind of the idea behind supply and demand zones. Some people call them key zones. Some people refer to it as support and resistance. I like to think of supply and demand zone as more solid than just support and resistance lines, okay? So here is a simple strategy that you can use with supply and demand zones in your Forex trading, okay? The key here is anytime that we're taking a trade, we actually want it to be at a supplier demand zone. And like you've probably heard before, that this is a key in any Forex trading strategy. You want it to be at key zones, okay? So I'll just show you, for example, the strategy that I like to trade is really simple. So I first wait for price to get to a supplier demand zone. I can easily see those drawn on the chart here because price is likely to bounce off. You can see price bounce off, price bounce off, price bounce off again, price bounce off here, price bounce off here, price is bouncing off of there. You get the idea. So number one is I wait for it to get to a key zone like this, okay? Number two is I make sure that I'm trading in the direction of the trend. This is really, really key because you heard it. The trend is your friend, and it's absolutely true. It's just going to set you up and give, stack the probability in your favor. So the way I like to decide how the trend is, again, this is part of the bank secret indicator, but I just have this simple trend indicator here, which basically shows you on which time frame the trend is. So you can see on the minute chart, it's an uptrend, but on the 5-minute, minute 15, minute 30, H1, H4, and daily, I can see that it's all in an uptrend, and the weekly and monthly are on a downtrend. So I can see that really easily here. Now, when I'm looking to trade the trend, I simply trade on the hourly time frame. I don't recommend trading anything less than that. I trade on the hourly time frame, and then I like to make sure that the H4 and daily charts are also in the same direction. If this is so, then that means that I'm likely getting at it a good entry point, and I likely to have the market keep following in this situation. So number one is I wait for a key zone. Number two is I make sure that I'm trading in direction of the trend, okay? That's key, okay? The third thing that I do is I simply just wait for a reversal candlestick pattern to print. So you guys have probably heard of candlesticks at this point, right? There's certain candlestick patterns that are likely to have a reversal happen. So I can just go in here. I like to trade something known as kangaroo tails. I also like to trade something called big shadows, but basically you can go in here. It's really cool. And I can see which candlestick patterns I want to wait for. So in this scenario, I basically have it set up to wait for a big shadow to come in, which is basically like a bigger version of a bullish or a bearish engulfing candlestick, where the candle previously is entirely engulfed by the next candle. Or I like to trade kangaroo tails I also like to trade tweezer tops. So tweezer tops or tweezer bottoms are a good pattern of reversal. So I have that displayed here. Now, the cool thing that I love about this indicator specifically is that I can set up these parameters where I only want to trade when it's at a key zone, when it's trading with the trend, and once a pattern, candlestick pattern has formed, I can set that in here, and then I can actually just set it to receive alerts, either email or push notifications straight to my phone. So that way it saves me a lot of time from having to spend looking at the charts all the time. And it saves me a bunch of time from having to scan this and look for these setups. So that way, once I get the alert on my phone, I know that it's at a key zone. I know that there's been a reversal candlestick printed, and I know it's trading in the direction of the trend. And that gives me a high probability trade setup. Okay. And again, I can just show you kind of what this looks like. I mean, this is awesome. You see, it's completely in a downward trend in this particular scenario on all time frames, which, obviously you'd only want to be looking for sell opportunities, but you get the point. So this is really simple. Supply and demand zones are key. You only want to be trading at these supply and demand zones because it's proven that price is likely to bounce off of these in a sharp way. So if you like this video, then go ahead and like it and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you'd like to use and try out this indicator, you totally can. I'll include a link in the description below where you could try this bank secret indicator out for free. And as well, once you become a member, we'll give you access to our favorite trading algorithms, as well as a more in-depth training on how to specifically use this trading strategy. So go ahead, click that link below, give it a try, and can't wait to see you guys in the next video.